Sorry about the technical difficulties. There's 17, here comes 18. We'll go 2x squared minus y. X is 3, y is 6. Do the exponent first. 3 squared is 9, copy, copy. Multiply and subtract. Got it. Careful here, we've got some negatives. Y is negative 4, x is negative 2. Exponents first. Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. When I multiply 2 times 2, it's 4, and 2 negatives make a positive. Let me set up number 20. Put an x here, put an x here, and a y here. Let's start in the parentheses. Multiply. Negative times a negative is a positive. And I'll copy and copy. Stay in the parentheses. 8 minus 1 is 7. And I'll copy and copy. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42. And 1 negative makes my answer a negative. The fractions can be challenging. X is 1/4, y is 5/8. Think of this 3 as 3 over 1. Then multiply 3 times 1 and 1 times 4. Now I'm subtracting fractions, so I'll need a common denominator. Here I'm multiplying by 2. And 6 minus 5 is 1/8. Start with the exponent. 1 squared, 1 times 1. 4 squared, 4 times 4. Now common denominators. Here I'm multiplying by 2. Makes 11/16. I'll start 23 by getting rid of this 6. And when I divide, my answer is 5. For 24, the inverse of subtraction is addition. (20 divided by 4 is 5. I don't want the 6x on the right side of the equal sign. That's what I'll move first. The inverse of addition is subtraction. And when I divide 2 negatives, my answer is a positive. I'll distribute the 2. 2 times x, 2 times 3. Inverse of subtraction is addition. And divide. Let's start by distributing. 3 times 2x, 3 times 1, copy and copy. Now combine like terms. 3 plus 5 is 8. The inverse of addition is subtraction. and divide. I'm going to start by multiplying both sides of this equation by a common denominator of 12. Now 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times -1 is -3. And when I divide, my final answer is a fraction. Here my common denominator can be 8. Two goes into 8 4 times. 4 times x goes there. 8 goes into 8 once. 1 times 5. 4 goes into 8 twice. 2 times 3 is 6. Now the inverse of addition is subtraction. And when I divide, my answer is again a fraction. Number 30 needs a common denominator. Here multiply by 4. Here multiply by 5. Then subtract. For 31, my common denominator is 8. Here multiply by 4. Here multiply by 1. Here multiply by 2. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. And in the instructions, we were told to show final answers as mixed numbers. I'll reduce before I multiply. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 5, divide by 5. Now multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. For 23, copy the first fraction, change it to multiplication of the reciprocal of the second fraction. Now reduce. Divide by 7, divide by 2, multiply the tops, and multiply the denominators. Let's change 34 all into improper fractions. 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 plus 2 is 5. Now common denominators. Here multiply by 3. Here multiply by 2. Now add the numerators and change that answer back into a mixed number. I'll rewrite 6 so that it looks like a fraction. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Now common denominators. Here we multiply by 3. (18 minus 8 is 10. And as a mixed number, 3 1/3. Again, make 6 look like a fraction. Change into an improper fraction. 6 plus 2 is 8. Now when I multiply, I can reduce first. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and if the denominator is 1, then my final answer is 16. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's do that over. All right, we're going to try 36 again. Write 6 as a fraction, 2 2/3 as an improper fraction, Then because it's division, we'll take the reciprocal. Now reduce. Divide by 2, divide by 2, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and change 9/4 back into a mixed number. Now that looks better. For 37, change these into improper. And reduce. I can divide by 4 and divide by 4. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and change that back into an improper fraction. A mixed number.